Have you ever wondered if you can claim your boyfriend or girlfriend as a dependent on your taxes? It's a question that might have crossed your mind, especially during tax season. Whether you're living with your boyfriend or girlfriend, or perhaps even your fiancé, understanding the tax implications can be a bit of a head-scratcher. But don't worry, that's exactly what we're here to explore. In the intricate world of taxation, navigating the rules and regulations can be tricky. One such rule revolves around the concept of claiming dependents. For some, the idea of listing their significant other as a dependent may seem unconventional, maybe even unheard of. Yet for others, it could be a potential avenue to explore, especially if it could lead to potential tax benefits. So, if you've found yourself pondering over this topic, you're in the right place. We're about to delve into the nitty-gritty of this interesting aspect of taxation. In this video, we'll break down the process step by step. Before diving into the process, it's essential to understand what a dependent is in the context of taxes. A dependent, in the world of taxes, is a person who relies on someone else for financial support. In other words, you, the taxpayer, are the main source of their income. This could be your child, an elderly parent, or even a partner. The Internal Revenue Service, or IRS, provides tax benefits to taxpayers who support dependents, as it helps offset the cost of caring for them. But it's not as simple as just saying someone is your dependent. The IRS has set out specific rules to determine who qualifies. Let's talk about some of these general rules. First up, the person you're claiming as a dependent must be a US citizen, US resident alien, US national, or a resident of Canada or Mexico for some part of the year. Secondly, the person cannot be claimed as a dependent if they are filing a joint return for the year, unless that joint return is only a claim for refund. Thirdly, the person must be related to you. The IRS provides a list of relatives that can be claimed as dependents, which includes children, siblings, parents, and others. But what about a boyfriend or girlfriend, you ask? This is where it gets a bit tricky. The IRS doesn't include unmarried partners in the list of relatives, but they can still be claimed as dependents under certain conditions. Finally, you should be providing more than half of the person's total support for the year. This includes things like food, housing, clothing, education, medical and dental care, recreation, and transportation. Remember, these are just the general rules. Depending on the person's relationship to you, there might be additional requirements or exceptions. It's always a good idea to consult with a tax professional if you're unsure. Now that we know who qualifies as a dependent, let's look at how you can claim your partner. Scene script. Claiming your partner as a dependent isn't as simple as checking a box. There are specific criteria they must meet. First off, let's talk about income. The IRS has set an annual gross income limit for a person to be claimed as a dependent. For the current tax year, that amount is $4,200. If your partner earns more than this, unfortunately, you cannot claim them as a dependent. Next, we have the member of the household or relationship test. Your partner must have lived with you for the entire year. There are a few exceptions to this rule, but generally if your partner took a 6-month vacation to Paris without you, you're out of luck. Then comes the citizenship test. Your partner must be a US citizen, US resident alien, US national, or a resident of Canada or Mexico. And there's the joint return test. If your partner is married and files a joint return, you can't claim them as a dependent unless that joint return is only a claim for refund and no tax liability would exist for either spouse if they had filed separately. Finally, we have the support test. You must provide more than half of your partner's total support during the year. This includes food, housing, clothing, medical and dental care, education, and the like. So to recap, your partner must earn less than $4,200 a year, live with you all year, be a US citizen or resident, not file a joint return unless it's only a claim for refund, and you must provide over half their support. Each of these criteria is crucial, and all must be met to claim your partner as a dependent. It's not a decision to be made lightly, as incorrect claims can lead to penalties. Always consult a tax professional if you're unsure. If your partner meets all these criteria, you may be able to claim them as a dependent. Now, we've arrived at the heart of the matter, the process of claiming your partner as a dependent. Let's start with the paperwork. The first form you'll need to fill out is the IRS Form 1040, the US Individual Income Tax Return. This is the main form where you'll report your annual income and calculate your tax. You'll also need to complete Form 1040, Schedule 8812, where you list your dependents and calculate any child tax credit you might be eligible for. If your partner is not a US citizen or resident, then you'd need to fill out Form W7, Application for IRS Individual Taxpayer Identification Number. Once you've filled out the necessary forms, it's time to gather your supporting documents. This includes proof of relationship, like a marriage certificate, domestic partnership agreement, or even an affidavit from a third party. You'll also need proof of residence, which can be anything from a lease agreement to utility bills. Next, you'll need to prove that you provided more than half of your partner's total support during the tax year. This could be in the form of bank statements, receipts, bills, or other financial documents. If your partner worked or had any source of income, you'll need to show that your financial support was greater than their income. Now, what if you and your partner lived apart for part of the year? Well, the IRS requires that your partner lived with you for the entire tax year to be claimed as a dependent. However, there are exceptions for temporary absences, such as for school, business, medical care, or military service. And lastly, don't forget about your partner's income. The IRS has an income limit for dependents. In the tax year 2023, if your partner earned more than $4,300, you cannot claim them as a dependent. Now remember, the IRS is very strict about these rules. If you make a mistake or try to claim a dependent you're not eligible for, you could face penalties. So be sure to consult with a tax professional if you have any doubts. By following these steps, you can successfully claim your partner as a dependent on your taxes. While claiming your partner as a dependent can provide tax benefits, it's also important to consider potential drawbacks. So let's delve into the potential benefits first. One of the primary advantages of claiming your partner as a dependent is the potential for a lower taxable income. This reduction is due to the additional exemption you receive for each dependent you claim. Think of it as a subtraction from your total income before your tax rate is applied, which can result in significant savings. This could mean more money in your pocket at the end of the day. Moreover, a higher number of dependents can also qualify you for certain tax credits. These credits directly reduce the amount of tax you owe, dollar for dollar. This, combined with the lower taxable income, could potentially save you a substantial amount of money during tax season. But just as every coin has two sides, claiming your partner as a dependent also has its potential drawbacks, and it's crucial to be aware of them. One of the foremost concerns is the possibility of an audit if the claim is incorrect. If the Internal Revenue Service suspects that your claim might not be accurate, they could conduct an audit. This process can be time-consuming, stressful, and if they find discrepancies, it could result in penalties or even legal action. In addition, your partner may lose eligibility for certain benefits or credits if they are claimed as a dependent. For instance, they may not be able to claim certain tax credits for themselves, which they might have been able to do if they were not claimed as a dependent. Lastly, it's important to note that the rules around claiming a partner as a dependent can be complex and are subject to change. It's always a good idea to consult with a tax professional to ensure you're making the best decision for your personal circumstances. Weighing these pros and cons can help you decide if claiming your partner as a dependent is the right move for you. Claiming a partner as a dependent on your taxes is a decision that should be made with careful consideration. We've traversed through the labyrinth of tax laws together, from understanding what a dependent really is, to the criteria that need to be met to claim your partner as one. We've also walked through the process of making such a claim and weighed the potential benefits and drawbacks that come along with it. Remember, all these steps are merely guideposts to help you make an informed decision. Tax laws can be complex, and every person's situation is unique. If you're unsure, or if your situation is particularly complicated, don't hesitate to consult with a tax professional. Their expertise can provide valuable insights and can help you navigate these tricky waters with ease. Remember, understanding your taxes can save you money and avoid potential issues down the line. Until next time, stay financially savvy.